Hey YouTube, this is DJ Ray-Ban. It's been a while now, so I figured that I should make a tour of my setup. So let's have a look. So yeah, quite some things have happened since last time. Well, I have rotated the table. I used to have it to the wall. And I still have my S9 with the two Mixars LTA turntables. Here on the experimental side, that I used to call it, well, I used to have the Denon X1850. I still have that mixer around here. It's actually on the shelf here below. And that mixer is the reason why I wanted to get deeper into send returns. So that's thanks to a hack with the X1850, where you took the send output to maybe a pedal or an FX unit, and you took the return to a channel input. That way you could send that to the computer via USB, because there was no send return via USB on the X1850, as I know. So well, I was looking at some mixers known to have good send returns. It would be the Play Differently Model 1, it would be the newer Pioneer DGM V10, and the Xone 96. My conclusion was that Xone 96 would be the best option for my new interest. So I went ahead and got one. I have also went ahead and installed some audio reactive lightnings. Okay, so let me show you my newest addition to my collection and some cool stuff you can do with it. Alright everybody, this is the Allen Heath Xone 96. Quick about it, it's a 6+2 channel mixer with dual headphone cues, dual Xone filters, dual send returns. This mixer also sports a dual 12 in 12 out 32-bit sound card, USB of course, and I believe it's the first mixer to ever have a 32-bit sound card. There is also 4-band EQ on the 4 channels right here. The 2 channels here have a parametric EQ where you can sweep the mid frequency. Another new addition to the collection is the EFX-500 by Pioneer actually. Quick about it, it's really old. They released it like 1998. But it's very awesome. It can do 3 things. It's an isolator with an on-off switch or a quick release like this. It has some Pioneer beat effects in the same fashion. On-off paddles. And something you can call extinct by now. It's the digital jog brake effect. I think they had the same thing on the CDJ400. 3 effects. Same there, on-off paddles. Well, the biggest reason I bought this old unit is because it has the pan effects. Pan in an FX stack can be really nice. I will show you in a while. Other than that, you have these frequency buttons. I thought they said those were new on the Nexus 2 line of mixers. But this one had it 1998. So other than pan, it sports a delay and echo. And this is the only unit and the successor, the EFX-1000 actually, I know, that have a depth knob for the effects. And with the delay and echo, the depth knob acts as a feedback knob, and that's really nice because I think the echo on Pioneer mixes are way too long. So here I can adjust that, and the frequency on them as well. Then we have a flanger and a transformer. On the jog dial, digital jog brake side we have a jet. That's like a flange effect. Sip today would be called pitch. And we have wah, and wah should be the normal filter kind of thing. We have a ring, that's a ring modulator. I don't find that very useful actually. And we have fuzz. That's a kind of distortion, and I think it can sound kind of cool in the low frequencies, or if you put it all up to the high frequencies. But I usually put it on low, and I just use the knob right here, minimum to max. Sometimes up there because it can really overload or go into over red line, you know. So let me show you how I usually use this setup now. It's very experimental, as I said. Well, I have the Traktor Control X1 here that can sport 2 track decks. I put those on 1 and 2 here, channel 1 and 2. Channel 3 is the remix deck in Traktor, and you can use it as a sequencer as well. Channel 4 is actually the turntable here, the secondary output going straight into the channel 4. So there is no time code control whatsoever on this setup right now. Over here I have some other controllers for the moment. The keyboard can make tone plays, key adjust on the track decks, whatever one I choose. It's also a little broken now, I think. It started playing right now. I have an Arturia beat step here as well, and that one is controlling my effects right now. All the buttons for each unit, all the knobs for each unit. But I am trying to compress the controls I use the most here up to the X1 for the moment. I will show you soon. Here I have 2 pedals, the Boss RV6 and the digital delay DD8. So when the sends are working like this, send 1 is usually pre-fader going to the EFX-500. It's a pre-fader so I can have a pan on my regular tracks, and that is going back to the channel A. Like so. And thanks to gain staging I can have almost identical volumes on these with maxed out sends. So there is always even volume, you know. Send 2 on the other hand is split up a lot. It's split up to Traktor and Traktor return, or what is coming from Traktor is going back to channel B, and that's the digital side of the send 2. Send 2 is also split up to the RV6 and coming back to input C, that's just an auxiliary, and it's also split up to the DD8, that is mono to both pedals. And the digital delay is mono back into channel D. It was also an auxiliary, and you can cue these channels you have an on-off switch as well for both. So I think we should just use one-shot samples for this demo of my effects and what I'm experimenting with right now. So what I usually do is send this to a Traktor. In Traktor I have the effects on totally wet. So my first effects is a delay, and we have the on-off button. I have the filter and the feedback on the same knob here, so both are low and both gets high. Next to that we have the rate. Alright. Below that we have the FX Unit 2. That's a reverb. And this is a combined high-pass filter and low-pass filter. Yes, the effects are in single mode too. So this is acting like a tone knob. Next to that we have size. And yeah, the buttons to the right, they are freeze for both the delay and the reverb. Could be useful sometimes if things go out of hand, and believe me, they probably will when we go deeper into this. Below that we have the transpose stretcher. The plan is to use these in conjunction with say the delay. Or the reverb. FX Unit 3 is actually in a group mode, and next to that I have a turntable effect. Also, if things go out of hand, I can press that to have a wind down effect. And FX Unit 4 is single as well, and I have that of filter LFO. Usually put it to something 4 bars maybe. So I have the shape and the rate. I also put the up button. So yeah, that's my Traktor effects, and they are coming into this channel. And as I said, the send one is usually pre-fader. So if I do it like this, I can send that channel to the EFX. So if we use the delay, max that out, and let's take it to a half beat. Now on the EFX I can do panorama to this. I just love this effect on vocal chants or instrument one shots like this. It creates an atmospheric. Same thing with the reverb. And well, since I talked about it before, let's check this feedback knob. Why don't they have this on newer Pioneer gear, I wonder, actually. Okay, so back to what I wanted to show you. The thing with the dual sends and this mixer is actually you can feed back your own effect. So let's have a short delay. 1 bit. Let's feed this back to Traktor and use the transpose stretch. Now we have built our own pitch delay or pitch echo. This can go on for a while if you put it to neutral position. And we get this crazy sound. So that's one example. The other is the reverb. And I actually read somewhere that you make the shimmer reverb by adding a reverb, then put that to a pitch shift, and then feed, taking that, what you get from that, you feed that back into the reverb. So let's have a look, or listen. The same thing here, if you put the transpose to neutral, I wonder why it's only on the left channel, but still. A very atmospheric thing. And yeah, if things go out of hand, I got the turntable stop or the filter. Okay, well, let me show you some other effects on the EFX-500 maybe. The delay, it's kind of the same as the echo. The delay is the FX unit is before, or I think it's after the on-off switch. On the echo it's the other way around, so it's before, I think. The echo on the other hand is after. Nothing happens. If you hold it down, press, you get the effect. So yeah, pan can be cool on regular tracks sometimes as well. Flanger, you need to have that Actually, one thing that is cool with the frequency buttons is the transformer, if you have it to low. Let's make a loop here. The mix knob or the dry wet actually filters out what you have put out on the frequency band here. It's the same for all the effects. So that's one thing I think is different from the newer way of using these. So let's have a listen to some of the digital jog brake effects. Turn it on maybe. So it's quite the same as a flanger, but the flanger is moving. The jet is in the same position, the same offset always. So yeah, zip. Would be called pitch today, I believe. The wah. High pass filter. Just a regular filter. Ring modulator, actually quite cool on just the lows here. Yeah. And the fuzz, that's the distortion. And the visual feedback here is the frequency it goes into and destroys. And the isolator as well then. Actually, let's play. Total kill because it's an isolator. Don't do that. So yeah, I find the isolator to actually be quite useful if you want to just like cut out mids. Or more than that. For something, only the imagination is the limit. So why not wrap this up by showing you some of the boss pedal things as well. I won't go very in depth in them because they have a lot of different modes. But yeah, let's have a listen to some of them. And yeah, turn the channel on. So a lot of different reverbs. You have the in-out level, tone and size, and a different lot of modes, as I said. Kind of the same thing with the DD8, that's a digital delay, the in-out level, and you have feedback and time instead, and a lot of different modes, including a loop recorder. Yeah. So the funny thing with this pedal is actually to sample something and have fun with it. make something crazy. So that was a tour of my setup, a little tour all around and a little more in depth on the experimental side of things. I hope you enjoyed watching this and maybe got inspired to try something different you too. And that's it for today. See you another time. Peace.